Okay, so here it is, as I promised I would do. Just wanted to kind of run through real quick this whole setup. So everything's tested out pretty good. I have a couple of adapters I need to find to make some of the mono systems come across in at least in both speakers, but that's something I'll find as I clean up some other stuff. So basically what you've got here is a 32-inch Toshiba television with a Extron 1616, which is the switcher. All the devices, all 16 slots are occupied with one system or another, and I'll run through them here in a moment. So starting out, we got the 3DO, and then that's for one. Then you got the PlayStation, and then you have a Neo Geo, then you have the Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, you got Intellivision here, the Wii, and then N64. You come across here over to the the TI-99, and then the TurboGrafx, and then the Sega Genesis, and then you come across the top here. You've got a Sega Master System, the Odyssey 2, the Atari 2600, and the ColecoVision. And the DVD VCR is actually running through a separate television channel, so it doesn't actually mess with the Extron. So yeah, so as you can see here, this one's running the signal from the 3DO, playing Total Eclipse right now. But then I just go here, switching over to 2, and you can see now the Die Hard trilogy is loading up the PlayStation. Come down to the Neo Geo, which is number 3. You can see Metal Slug is playing there. And it basically goes on and so forth. So each system is hooked up and ultimately coming through this 3D printed patch bay that I created through a series of panels. What you've got is these are the various ports that correspond to each of the devices that it's got behind it through a series of extension cables I ordered. A lot of them were found through AliExpress. So you can see each of these systems has cables coming out of the front of them, and those are in fact running behind the whole setup back into the back of this right here. So yeah, so just an example, like right now I've got the Neo Geo running here, and this is the joystick for that. So it's plugged into, you follow this cable along here, and it leads right to there. So I can just go here, hit start, and I can start playing Metal Slug. So, but I want to move on to the next system. I want to play a Nintendo. I can just go to number 5, or 4, I should say. You can see here, these are multi-cards. So one of the other things that's really cool about the whole reason why this is even possible really is the fact that every one of these systems, other than the the Intellivision right now, which is actually something that's on its way in the mail, is each of these systems has what's called a multi-cart, which is essentially a single cartridge that holds a ton of games for that particular system. So you can see, looking here, the Nintendo, I've got the one in here, and this pulls up the screen right here where I can just grab my Intellivision controller, which is already hooked up, and I can go down and scroll through tons of different games, pick one that I want to play, like Bionic Commando, hit start, and it loads it up. And I can start playing with my controller, which is plugged into this port right here. So every system is represented in this. Obviously the Wii and the Ouya, which are taking up a couple of slots from the device up here, are wireless controllers, so they don't run through this. But every other system here has the respective interfaces necessary to be reached through this. And right now it's kind of a wire mess because I have all these systems hooked up at one time, but really the intention is to only have the controllers to a given system I want to play at any given time. So this is really meant to make it so you would be able to have your Sega Master System stay up there, but be able to comfortably play in front of the television right here, with the respective, where's the Sega Genesis? Is that one hooked up right here? Yeah. So if I jump to, I think it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it's 12. So I push 12, this, enter, and there we go. This is the multi-cart for the Sega Master System. I can now use the Sega Master System controller to control what games I want to load. Let's load games from USA. Alex Kidd. Let's see if I find something. Paperboy. That's a classic. Load and start. So what's going to do now is the Sega Master System sitting up there is now doing what is necessary within the multi-cart to load the respective ROM. And then I got to do is hit start, and I can start playing. So yeah, so that's basically it in a nutshell. I mean, I've got an Alexa over here, of course, never mind. And then the Ouya over here. Now the Ouya is actually HDMI, and so I did a little trick with, there's actually a HDMI to composite adapter they make, so I could actually step the higher quality signal of the Ouya down to a standard definition signal. Now the only downside to that is that it does create a sort of vertical stretching, so things look a little bit vertically expanded on the Ouya. But actually, surprisingly, some games are letterbox, and when they are played through the Ouya, like emulators and such, they don't, that stretching is actually negated. But some games, you know, that are like truly, you know, in a 16:9 aspect ratio will not look right. So, or at least, you know, mildly stretched, and that's not a big deal. Also, I had a Kindle Fire, but I've been debating whether I want to really hook that up or not at this point. But I had it before, and it's much like the Ouya, it creates a slight stretching effect for the television, but it does otherwise play on the TV. So, yeah, but that's basically it in a nutshell. Thanks for watching, and yeah, it's taken quite a while to do the 3D printing. As you can see, I had to kind of print various enclosures here, and if you pull this out, I'm going to put this down for just a second. You can kind of see that these cables looks like this behind me. There you go. So right there, all those cables run into the back of this, and I created a series of custom enclosures where essentially the extension cord adapts inside here with respective plastic pieces, or, you know, I guess PLA, to act as sort of a clip that holds these pieces in place, so you can, for the most part, put them in. I might need to tweak a couple of these prints in the near future. I'm also looking to do maybe a white facade to actually overlay these particular layouts, just to create more contrast, since it is just all black and it kind of looks a little drab, especially compared to the whole white look. So anyway, that's basically it in a nutshell, though. So yeah, thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, let me know. The 3D printing objects that I've created for these various pieces have not been necessarily uploaded at this point to Thingiverse. I'll probably make them available. You know, maybe even if anyone's interested in making something like this or having somebody help them with it, I'm willing to consider, you know, assisting with that as well, so if they need a 3D printer to do it. So, anywho, all right, thanks for watching.